Welcome, my name is Analia Pisani from AZ Solutions, and I'm going to take you through the function for index and match. The index function is one where you're going to extract information. So it's a bit like a Vlookup in that we want to extract certain information. So if we select this range of cells, from here we want to extract based on going down this column. So if I go 2 places down to find Crystal Palace, that's 2 places down. And if I wanted to find that for autumn, it's 2 places across for autumn. Now the index function is wanting a row number to tell me how many rows down, and that's why we need that value of 2. It's a numerical value that it requires, not a piece of text. And the same deal for the column. How many columns across do I need to go? And then it finds that intersecting point, and then that's the information it returns. So if I type in here equals index, the range where I want to pull out information from is this range of cells here. You can see that a range name has been created, and you can check out my other YouTubes on range names. I'm going to also put in a comma. The comma tells me that's it. I've selected that range of cells where you want to pull information out of. Now what row number, how many rows down do you want me to go? Now the answer for that is 2, and we have the number 2 entered in here manually. So we're going to reference our cell to that one there. Hit comma, and how many columns across? It's autumn that we want, and that's 2 columns across. So we're referencing a cell which contains the number 2. Once we hit enter, we'll get our result. Now when you're looking at that, you look at it and you would say, geez, really? I have to go there manually and count 500 and then come in here, type in the number 500. By the time I've done that, I might as well have, looked at it myself. So what we want to do is, instead of referencing a number, we want a function that will give us that number. And the function that's going to give us that number is a match function. We can use a match function to say, go look for this piece of text in this column of information. Now when you're using the match function, you don't select a whole bunch of columns and rows. It's only one range of columns of information, or if your information is going across, one row of information going across. Now I'm going to put in a comma. The next thing is that I'm able to say, well, did you want to find exactly that piece of information? Now it is a piece of text, so we really don't have any other choice than to ask for exact. But if what I was looking for was some numerical value, I could ask it to find exactly that number, or find me a number. If you can't find that number, then the next lowest number or the next highest number. So I'm going for an exact match. So it's giving me the answer of 2, which is what we wanted here. We're going to do a match function here as well. I want it to look for the value of autumn. This time it's not going down one column, it's in one row going across. And again, it's a piece of text, so I need to find exactly that value. So it's given me the numbers, but if the questioning changes, I now want to find gateway center. You would have to have manually changed the number here, whereas the match function has automatically made that update for you. So now we're going to combine, nest the 2 functions, the index function and the match function. So the job of a match function is to return numbers, to do the number counting for you, whether that's going down one column or going across. So we're going to insert the match function in this placeholder here and the other match function here. So if I select everything except the equal sign, Control C to copy, Press escape and now select the item that will give me the row information and paste in here, Control V, enter. Select this match function again, copy, escape, and in the placeholder here for the column information, which is for autumn, going across, paste and enter. So now if the value changes here, so we've got gateway center, and let's say we want winter, we can change it to winter, which now gives me 3 down, 3 across, so 3 down, 3 across. If I was to change it to Crystal Palace, that makes it 2 down, 3 across, so 1, 2, and 3 across. So the index function used together with the match function is quite a lovely way to construct those two. The match function, because it counts how many columns across or how many rows across you need and returns a numerical value, this can also be used with the Vlookup. Just before I move on to there, you notice that I created a drop-down value here. This is a data validation, and you can check out my YouTube channel on data validation. So I'm now going to go to index and freight calculation. By the way, this exercise file that I'm demonstrating on will be on my website so that you can download it, and I will give you a link in the YouTube details so that you can follow along. So if you've worked with a Vlookup before, so again, I do have another YouTube on Vlookup if you'd like to get to that one. So with the Vlookup, there's a component that asks you for how many columns across is the information that you want to extract from. Now, when you have hundreds and hundreds of columns, that it's time consuming to sit there and count how many columns. You've got 100 columns, you'll be sitting there going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 20, and then typing in the number 20. We can use the match function to give you that information. So the match function in here, if we want to find this piece of text in this range of cells going across here, and again, it is a piece of text, so we do want it to find the exact match. And the information for weight is in column 1. Now, if we want it to return the dollar value, which is the freight, if we change the drop-down arrow here to say, find the freight value, meaning column number 2, it's now telling me column number 2. So I would use that, copy, escape, in place of me manually having to change the column reference. So now if I did want to find this as a weight, it would change and pick up from the first column. If I want to find the freight, which is what I want, it's from the second column that I want it to return. So using the match function in the placeholder for the column index number is a really good tool. It's very time saving. Now another scenario in terms of what we're talking about here, we're talking about sending a package, and based on its weight depends on how much we're going to pay for it, how much we're going to charge our client. At the moment, if the package weighs 3 kilos, we're charging the client $12, which is the lower out of the two ranges there. It's the lower amount. We want to be able to charge our client $19 to cover ourselves. Now the Vlookup won't do that job, but you can use the index function along with the match. So in this instance here, before you start your index and match, because it's picking up, we want it to pick up the highest number, in the column for the weight, you need to make sure that this data is sorted highest number to the lowest number, because when it goes looking, it goes comparing this value to the one below it, and we want it to pick up the higher number of the two. So in this instance here, we're having the index function. We want it to extract information from not a range of columns and rows, but just one row, or one column of information here. So you can see here I have a range name created for that one. Now in the index function, we only need to use the column, so you don't have to give me columns and rows, just rows in this instance. How many rows down do you need to go? Now the answer is not 3, so the match function is going to go and look for the value that you have here. It's going to search for that in this first column here, and then find the nearest highest number. So it's going to match it to the highest number. That's why we have a -1.